Hello and welcome to this lesson. It's kind of funny. We're using the news angle offer, and I kind of sounded like a news anchor person. Hello and welcome to this lesson. Tonight we're going to be talking about the news angle offer. Reportedly, a wildly powerful, yet woefully underutilized form of offers. Story at 11. But in all seriousness, this is a really, really cool offer structure. The news angle offer. So, to recap and build upon everything, here is the lay of the land, right? So, we've got number one, first thing, the very core of it all is the actual offer itself. Give me $5, I'll give you a banana, versus here's a banana, take it home, eat it, call me in a week if you like it, give me $5. If you don't worry about it, etc. Remember everything from our offer structures. Then we have the pitch, right? Which is like the actual direct pitch. And then we have the angle that we use to make the pitch. So we have covered now the direct pitch and the how-to angle. And in this case, we're going to be talking about the news angle. All right? So let's recap what the direct pitch is, because everything is focused on the direct pitch. And I know it's probably redundant, but still, I'm a slow learner. So, we're going to go over it real quick. The direct pitch works like this. You can bolt this on to the end of a news angle pitch. You can bolt it on to the end of an educational pitch. You can really bolt it on anything or just use it as a standalone. Step 1, here's what I got. Step 2, here's what it will do for you. Step 3, here's how it's going to do it. That's where you talk about the benefits and stuff. Step 4, here's how much it's worth. Step 5, but here's how much I'm going to charge, which usually, you want it to be less than what it's worth in the value build process. Step 7, when you act today, you get these bonuses and stuff. Step 8, you're also protected by our world famous guarantee. Step 9, you better act now, because if you don't act now, it's the end of the world. And then, of course, step number 10 is to do all that stuff again in the form of a recap, because as soon as people see the price, they often start glazing over, right? And so you need to recap the whole thing for them. And that's how a direct pitch works, and we've given examples of that and everything. So I don't want to beat it to death. So in this case, we have our actual offer, and the actual offer is being sold by a direct pitch, and the angle is a news angle, right? So pretty simple. A news angle is awesome. It does have some rules, though. It's oftentimes, like, people say there's always some news that you can use, and I agree with it. I agree with that. However, it does need to have some structure to it. So here's a structure that works really, really well. You want to always address fear or a challenge. So that's kind of the same category, like address negative stuff, positive stuff, or both. Right? So it can't be, Aunt Thelma made an apple pie yesterday, and now here's how this relates to our pitch. That doesn't really mean much, unless you're selling apple pies and Aunt Thelma won the world record apple pie thing, and her apple pie uses the same ingredients as yours, and your recipe's better, or whatever. But you get it, right? So generally speaking, you need to come at the news angle with, oh my gosh, here's something you need to be worried about, and I'm going to help you. Or, oh my gosh, this news means major opportunity for you, and here's why. Or, man, there's this really scary stuff, but in reality it's opportunity, and here's why. One of those three, right? Okay, now it's best if the news is directly relevant to their desired outcome. The apple pie version, even when I just gave you that example, it wasn't really that relevant, so I'll give you a really good example here in a minute, by the way. But the news needs to be directly relevant. You see, financial planner folks use this a lot when it's available to them, where a new tax law will be written, and then it's like a flurry of activity. Oh, this new tax law, what does this mean for your retirement? And things like that. Come in for an appointment, become our client, etc. So best if it's directly relevant to your outcome. It's very effective when combined with a how-to, incidentally. So here's some news that provides danger, and here's how to escape the danger, and here's the pitch. So that works well. Here's some news that provides opportunity. Here's how to take advantage of the opportunity. Here's the pitch. You don't have to, but it's super effective. That's how I usually do it. That's the example I'm going to give you in a minute. And you always want to establish some agreements. So in the news angle, thing that you want to establish, these agreements. Number one, news has occurred, which means things have changed, right? The world has shifted as it relates to what they want and how you can help them get it. Okay, so something has occurred and things have changed. And those changes directly impact you, not you, the seller, but the prospect, right? There is danger as a result of this, opportunity, or both. It can't just be news for the sake of news. There's got to be danger, opportunity, or both that's tied into the news angle here. And finally, something needs to be done about this, right? And so that's it. And then you go into your pitch, etc. But like, you got to have these four elements here. And this isn't the structure of how to do it. This is the rules. So generally you need to establish, okay, things are different. This is real. This directly impacts me. There's danger, opportunity, or both, and I need to do something. Whether it's I need to do something to protect myself from danger, or I need to do something to take advantage of opportunity, one of those two. But this is what we need to establish before going into the pitch. All right? If we're doing education, again, if you're bolting education onto it, try to avoid doing more than 3 steps. I usually end up doing more than 3 steps. Never works out well for me versus when I actually do no more than 3 steps. But still, if you're bolting education onto this, try not to overeducate and overwhelm people. And generally speaking, same ratio, 40% content, 60% pitch, right? You want that pitch to be solid and long. So here's a really simple framework that's very, very effective. And again, this is great for video. It's great for print. Great for a stage presentation, great for a webinar. Doesn't matter. A pitch is a pitch, right? So here's our framework. Number one, explain the benefit of consuming the pitch. Same as educational, right? And I'm going to give you some examples in a minute. Number two, just like in our educational framework, you want to open a loop, right? And I'll give you some examples. Then in step number 3, you want to deliver the news. And that kind of goes like this, all right? You deliver the news itself, there's some news. Then you deliver the implications of the news, here's what that means to you. And then you deliver the solution or opportunity based on, whether or not the implications are positive, negative, or both. And from there, you can, if you choose, segue into education, or you can simply skip that part and transition right into your direct pitch. And so our direct pitch is always the same. That's why I start these lessons with a quick overview of what the direct pitch is. We're not changing the direct pitch. We're just reframing this direct pitch with this news angle around it. So let's use this framework here, and I'll give you an example using complete and utter nonsense and stupidity. Okay. That's what everybody wants. Can we get more nonsense, please? Well, sure. Here's an extra helping. All right. So step number 1, explain the benefit. Okay. So here's how small businesses can prepare for the upcoming alien invasion. The news that's on everybody's mind is there's upcoming alien invasion, right? Kind of a given. All right. So now we want to do step number 2, which is open the loop, which is I'm going to show you how to actually profit from this upcoming alien invasion. But first, let's talk about what's happening, right? And so now we have our framework for delivering the news. Reports are showing that absolutely no doubt aliens are scheduled to land on December 94th, right? They are coming. The ballistics experts at NASA, I don't think that makes sense, but whatever, have used their algorithms and slide rulers and pocket calculators to determine that on December 97th, the aliens are indeed coming. Now, what does this mean for us? Implications where we're going now. So now, hey, everyone's going to go to their underground bunkers. This is bad for business. Customers are not going to be shopping. So this is bad. However, and now we could give the solution, right? In this case, would be solution or opportunity. So one would be a solution to this for small businesses is people are still going to need stuff that they have always wanted. Therefore, you need to learn how to deliver your stuff to the underground bunkers. Now, of course, this is like absolutely idiotic. The opportunity area would be, hey, we have research that indicates that aliens love these three things: gluten, asbestos, and nicotine, right? Making that stuff up. Okay, and then so that would be the opportunity. And of course, I'm giving like completely dumb stuff just to make this less boring. I'll give you a real example in a minute. Now, if you choose, we could insert education here, right? And so we could just flip this as a precursor to how to. So here's how to reach customers in their bunkers. So a way to do that would be, now, we all know that everyone's going to underground bunkers. We all know they're still going to need to buy the very same things you're providing now. It's not like the human race is no longer going to need to consume the very things that they're buying. The question is, how do we reach them to sell them stuff in the bunkers? Well, there's three ways to do it. And then, boom, we go into the education. All right? Or, conversely, okay, so we know that aliens love asbestos, nicotine, and what else was it? I forgot what the other thing was. Gluten. Right? So here's where to get the wholesale stuff, etc. Okay? And then step number 4 is normal. Hey, if you want to thrive from the alien invasion, listen up. That's our little transition there. And then, boom, we begin the direct pitch. Here's what I got. The alien, the alien survival system, .biz. Okay? Here's what it'll do for you, etc. And incidentally, it doesn't have to be a new offer. Okay? So, like, if in this case, which I know is ridiculous, we were in the asbestos business, and which in and of itself is idiotic, on top of all the level of idiocy we're already dealing with here. If you and I were in the asbestos business, and one of the things was, it turns out aliens love to eat asbestos, our pitch would be, look, you can really profit from selling asbestos to these aliens because they love to eat it, right? And so that would be our pitch there. So you don't have to come up with a brand new offer to go around the news. You can use the news as a way to make the same offer you're always making, right? For example, this one. Okay, so this is an actual example that was not complete nonsense. So when Corona hit, I created a pitch based on the news, and the pitch was, I'm going to go through it for you right now. The pitch was how to thrive during the coronavirus stuff. And what I'm doing for you in this training is I've given you the PDF to both of these pitches because I used the news twice. I did 2 news angle pitches during the corona stuff. And they both followed the same frameworks. And so I'm going to go through the first one. I'm also going to give you these slides, which are included in this training. And I'm going to give you the slides to the second one so you can see how I'm following the same framework each time. Right? And so here was the pitch. Right? Okay. Today we're going to talk about here's how to thrive during the coronavirus stuff. All right, and so I had my disclaimer here because I always like to have disclaimers here, and we were talking about medical stuff, and it was like everybody was so freaked out that, just the fact that I said thrive during coronavirus stuff was just politically incorrect enough, so I felt the need to do that. All right, and so here is your benefit from, watching the presentation, or if you wanted to do it in print, you could do it in print. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to explore all the bad stuff that can happen. Right? We're going to take a look at what's going on now, and we're going to get specific about what we can do right now to thrive. That is the open loop, by the way, is what can we do right now to thrive? They're like, okay, I want to know that. And so, the audience, the viewer, had been bombarded with everything's horrible and we're all going to die any minute now. And so this is on their mind, so they're going to want to pay attention. Right? And so now, really what I'm doing is delivering the news. In this particular slide right here, what if things get worse? I'm just addressing what's on people's minds. So if you have a news event and people are thinking stuff, you can do things like this. Like, hey, you're probably wondering what this means for you. So what does the alien invasion mean to you? What if it wipes out our business or whatever? And, go ahead and address them. So yada, 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 yada. Okay? And so there was that. Here's all the bad stuff that people were freaked out about. And so I just wanted to sort of address it, really as a public service thing. What if people stop buying your stuff, right? And so there you go. And now we start with, okay, here's the deal. Here's what's going on. Number one, here's some news that you're probably aware of. Everybody and their mother is now talking about COVID-19. All right, and so this, as you can tell, this was back from right when it first started happening. Here is what the general public is doing. So the news, incidentally, is COVID-19's bad, and it's here. That was the news. All of this stuff that I'm giving you now, all of these things, these are the implications of that, right? And so if we look at this, the real news is that COVID's here, and it's bad, right? And so what all these things are basically me saying COVID's here, and it's bad. These are the implications right here, right? The implications are, okay, all your customers are freaked out because this is all they're seeing. Here is what people are doing according to this stuff, all right? And here's what's going on. And so now these are, I gave some like bad implications, and now I'm giving some implications that are about opportunity in this particular case. All right, well, more people spending more time on social media. Social media is the new newspaper, radio, TV, and rolled into one. We got more opportunity to get in front of our market than ever. All right, here's some more news implications. Okay, and implications, again, can be danger or opportunity. In this particular case, I'm going with opportunity because for people in digital marketing space that sold stuff on the internet, the coronavirus presented a tremendous opportunity for everybody. It's like, good Lord, people are buying stuff on the internet more than ever. So, here I am giving some facts there. I can't remember where this came from, but I cited it in the actual, little pitch that I did here. So what this means here is people are going to consume more content. Content sells. You got more opportunity than ever to get people to consume more of your content than ever. Here's more implications. E-commerce is likely to grow. Translations, more people are going to buy more stuff. We sell stuff online. Yay. Here's another implication. Ad spending is likely to go down. That means our competition is going to spend less money. I was right about all of this, by the way. Just to gloat for a minute, all of my predictions were true. This should drive ad costs down. And it was not in China only. It was everywhere. Ad costs went down all over the place. And so now, and this is optional for you, but I'm giving news from my own personal thing as a public figure. Okay, so social media networks, major beneficiary, yada, 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 yada. All right, and so now I'm showing people up-to-date things that are happening right now during coronavirus. So in this case, I'm positioning all of this as the implications of this are actually opportunity. So what I'm now doing is giving an illustration of that opportunity, which is, hey, this happened yesterday. Okay, this is the ad that I ran yesterday, and it cost me 1.5 cents to get someone to watch an entire freaking 2-minute infomercial. This is how big of a deal this is. The prices have dropped so low. All right, and then this is just me saying, okay, look at this. For the first 18 days or so of March, here's a 38-minute video. It cost me 44 cents to get someone to watch 100% of this damn thing. So here is me now solidifying these implications by example. And you can choose to do that if you have the ammunition for it or not. All right, so if you've got the ammo, use it. If you've got like a case study or something to accompany the news that's relevant, then use it. And if you don't. Here's another thing. All right, so look, here's another one. Yada yada yada. This thing's an hour and 16 minutes long. Spent $29. It cost me $1.57 to get someone to watch 100% of a 76-minute video. This is ridiculous, and then here's more. Okay, here's for the month of March when all this stuff is bad. Here's how cheap leads are. Here's a text I just got from somebody, cost per click or 60% less. So now what I'm doing is I'm choosing in this particular pitch, right? And so, by the way, if we look at this, I'm just following the framework I just gave you, right? So where are we here? Here's the news. Here's the implications. And the opportunity, and so all the screenshots of my own personal stuff is in and of itself news and proof of the opportunity and implications. It's just supporting that, hey, these are the implications and opportunity right here. Now I'm going to segue into education, okay, which in this particular pitch I chose to do because I could, and I just love educational pitches. I think they build a lot of goodwill. with the brand and everything, but it's certainly not necessary. So let's roll on back here. All right, and so now here's the pitch, or not the pitch rather. Here's exactly what to do. Double down on outreach, exposure, communication. Don't send the same generic crap that everyone else is doing. Get in front of your audience and lead them. And here's the education. 3-part leadership framework. Teach, 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 teach. All right. Now, I overtaught kind of here. I should have just stopped there. But no, now I got to give a ton of examples. So I give an example of the 3 things. Give an example of these guys. Give an example for these guys. Give an example for these guys. Give an example for e-com. Right? Here's more teaching. Damn it, because I just can't help myself. I am acknowledging that I break my own rules all the time. Now I'm segueing into the pitch. Right? Here's the bridge. Here's the fact of the matter. We sell stuff on the internet. Our market is stuck at home, browsing the internet as a result of this news, in this case, which is COVID. They're going to buy stuff from somebody. It should be you. Blam. Now I can segue into a pitch. Right? I could sell the exact same thing I've been selling forever, which would be a course on intent-based branding, right? Or a course on social media advertising, or agency services, or consulting. Doesn't matter, right? Now, whatever the pitch is that's relevant here, I can stick it right there. It should be you. So if you want to take advantage of this, here's what to do, right? And so this was profoundly effective, by the way, like obnoxiously effective. So you can literally go and find newsworthy stuff to do this with, if not daily, at the very least weekly. Anything with an election cycle that has people worried. If you know, for example, that a market is worried about something, let's just say a political thing, what if so-and-so becomes elected, and you know that the majority of your market is worried about that or has an opinion about that, you can literally do a news angle pitch, and the whole angle of the pitch is breaking news, so-and-so might get elected, here's what this is going to cover, right? Might get elected. It's not even news, but you got some news that shows a poll that so-and-so might get elected. Here are the implications if so-and-so does get elected. Here's the danger or opportunity presented by that. If you want to take advantage of the opportunity, here's what I got. Here's what it'll do for you. Blam. Or if you want to protect yourself from the danger, here's what I got. Here's what it'll do for you. Kablamo. So this right here, as simple as this is, okay, this little framework is the magic. All right? Find the news that's relevant. Explain the benefit of consuming the pitch. Open the loop. So-and-so might get elected. Now, I'm going to show you how to protect yourself from this in a minute, but first, let's go over what just happened. So those first 2 statements, or explaining the benefit and opening that loop. I'm going to go over how to protect yourself in a few minutes, but let's talk about what just happened. Or I'm going to go over the opportunity that this presents for you in a few minutes, but here's what happened, and now deliver the news. The news itself is polls are showing that so-and-so has a pretty good chance of getting elected. Here are the implications. As a result of this, the aliens are definitely going to invade, but we all know that when this person lets all of the alien invaders into our airspace, these guys love asbestos, and of course, we'll just skip the educational part. As you know, asbestos is our business, and if you want to profit from all of these, people that are these aliens that are invading as a result of so-and-so getting elected, here's our asbestos special offer for you right now, right? Really, really simple. You can make a gazillion of these. And the real money is not in finding one magic offer and one magic pitch and expecting that to do all of the heavy lifting for the entire business. The real magic is in coming up with different ways to make the same pitch over and over again, because you have such unbelievable access to your audience at all times, whether it's through ads or through email or both. And so that's what you want to do. So in this lesson, you've got the slides for the presentation I just gave you. You've got slides for a second version of it where I simply just gave more stats and showed more news and gave an update, but was able to give the pitch again. As a result of that, you also have the PDF of these very slides too. I urge you to use this. This is woefully underutilized. Very, very, very few people ever use it because they're lazy. It requires you to be on top of your game and like not rely on old sales letters and old marketing materials that you've had sitting around forever. But what people don't understand is you can just bolt this to the front of the old sales letter, and you're probably still going to do pretty good. You know, the amount of times we get the offer in front of the audience, it usually is directly proportional to the amount of sales we make. So that is how you make a news angle pitch.